I'm here, Jack.
Okay. So why am I getting all other people that are on here? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I got Tom, I got Bill Hawking, and
Yeah, it's a
Christine.
public meeting. It's a public meeting, Mr. Chairman.
No, it's not. It's not a public meeting. It's an executive meeting. If you look at the published thing, that was the reason why we're holding this meeting. It's an executive meeting.
No,
It's not-
Jack, I spoke to Bob Galvin. There's nothing on your agenda that would require you to have an executive session. That's coming from town council, not myself, but there is no, there's,
Yes, there is. We're having a vote for chairman, and
That's
we're
not-
having a
that's
vote
done
for
in public
secretary.
no,
All
that's
right,
done in a,
so
that's
all
done in a
right,
public
so-
session.
all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to Bob Galvin to find out what is the executive session, and the reason why is because we want to sit down as a group and just be amongst ourselves and talk.
You can't
and
do
we-
that. You
Oh,
can't,
yes,
it's not
we can.
allowable. It's
We've been-
allowable. It's not, Jack. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm
I've been
telling
on this committee. I've been on this committee for over 10 years, and we've done it plenty of times.
you. Well, then it's wrong. Bob said there's only under certain circumstances, and picking who's gonna chair the committee and officers' roles is not something that you do in executive session. That's something that you do in a public setting.
Okay.
If you
all
were,
right,
if you were debating, so just to give you a quick example, if you were debating like a land purchase and you needed to talk about, various prices and its negotiation of a land deal for the town, that's grounds for executive session because somebody could pick up some information and try to, buy it before the town could buy it. But, talking and discussing, offices, that has to be done in open session.
All right, well, I'll talk to Bob to get clarification on it.
Yeah,
because
absolutely. But that's, I've been
Because
doing this
one-
for 30-something years, so I'm well versed in executive session and that's not,
Well, I know,
offices- Yeah,
I know that the selectmen had an executive session last night, so.
we do, right, but it's about land purchasing and things like that.
Okay, so we're gonna have an executive session on land purchasing.
You can't tonight, that would be illegal.
I know, but we're thinking about building a capital budget building, so yeah, that's what we'll do. No, anyways, all right, so we got a roll call. Is Billy here?
Yes, I am. I
Okay,
am.
great. All right, so the purpose of the meeting, this is kind of, get my phone out because I'm working with my iPad tonight. Hold on one second. Purpose of the meeting, first of all, we did the roll call. Billy, you're here, so that's good to know. Let me just grab my email. And just go down the agenda so I can pull up the agenda. All right, so we had number 2, which was the executive session. I guess we can't have that right now. I wish town council or our town administrator would have let us know that in advance. That would have been nice. The first thing we do is we have a vote on chairperson and secretary. And one of the things that I just want to state is on the secretary part of it, right now, we need to get caught up on our notes. So I don't know who wants to start this off, but I'm willing to be the chair again if that's the way is appropriate. So I don't know if anybody else wants to, take on the chair responsibility. It's up to you guys. I will go any way you want.
I'll nominate Jack for chairman.
I'll take treasurer too.
Okay. A second.
I second it, yep.
All right, so I guess it's the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Dean?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I wanted to discuss some strategy for the upcoming capital budget projects. As you know, we all received a book this past week. I delivered to everybody. Thank you, Bonnie, for picking yours up.
Mhm.
In regards to the budgeting of the town's finances. And I haven't got through it. I mean, it's really thick and I haven't really gone through it. Dean, being the financial guy, have you looked at that at all?
I have not even had a chance.
Okay. I think that's one of the things we really need to look at because I'm not too sure, what kind of outlay of capital that we have available. I think I heard that we have 2.5 million to spend, but I'm not sure. Patrick, since you're on, what is the amount of money appropriated for?
Thank you, Jack. Yeah, so the selectmen approved up to 2.5 million, and on the December 11th meeting, we walked that you chaired. We were Michael, myself, and Christine were in attendance. We went over the proposed Article 4 that we were planning to submit through the warrant process, which was successfully done, and that's in your capital budget book, the book that you received this week, right? If you recall. I know we only talked for 2 seconds. You were in the parking lot, but in that book, the most important thing that we wanted to illustrate to the Capital Budget Committee, right, was sort of our debt picture, where we were, where sort of that's going, the trajectory of that, all that information's in there. So, and it shows you sort of the last 7 years of the debt impact with all the stuff that we had. So that's why you received those books. And also, we thought it was important to be transparent on the enterprise funds, which are located in the back of the book by the tabs. And it's very important also, the capital budget recognizes the town's revenue forecast and debt and structure of its and how we balance the budget effectively, right? So you have your excluded debt, and you see the impact that has. That's all that information is in the operational budget book. And that's why capital budget historically has received that book under Ms. Marusco's administration. That's what we have. But on the pertinent pieces to this is going to be the articles that will be coming in front of the board in the next few months, and from the December 11th hearing that we put together for you guys as your 5-year capital budget plan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. One of the things that I'm looking at on the requests that I have in my hand, the amount of requests, is $7.5 million worth of requests and a little bit over that. And we've got 2.5 million. And I think part of that is enterprise money that's taken out of there. I only see the water department, which I would imagine the 245 is coming out of the enterprise fund, which is the very last item. Is that right? Is that the only?
Yeah. So you should, on the paperwork that you folks have, there's a capital budget committee recommends. We sort of put some requests in there that that the selectmen have voted to support already, particularly the Munis project and the fire alarm safety system for the schools. Also, you notice that we agreed with the Department of Public Works. We work very collaboratively with that board to determine sort of how much money they're kind of looking for. And you should see in total 400,000 for DPW general fund projects. There will be a little deviation that they're going to be bringing before you at the time you call them for a hearing. And then you'll see the $60,000 request for wastewater for a SCADA system. And you are correct to say the $245,000 for the water cost itself. Also, I know that on the 11th, we also discussed in part sort of I know you were going to look into getting an update on the capital items that the board previously approved. And I believe that DPW was working with the water supervisor and the newly appointed assistant superintendent of finance, Mr. Bowen. I know they're working on getting some responses to the board. And I know that this meeting didn't have that on the agenda, so I would find it. I'm not sure if they have that information, and I wouldn't expect them to, given it's not posted on the agenda.
So on the fire alarm system, we've got a request of 2.5 $5,600,000 borrowed by, supported by taxes. How's that all working?
So again, so the selectmen voted the total amount that can be borrowed against the tax levy, right? Any item you see with the exception of retained earnings, are going to be borrowed in the, capital budget, article in front of you, right? Those are gonna be borrowed against a tax levy. That's the amount.
So 600,000's coming out of the general fund and 1.9 approximately is gonna be borrowed?
No, sir. No, all the items that you see that are listed there that we're asking for support for, right, are going to be borrowed. There's no money coming out of the general fund here, none.
What's the note of 600,000 borrowing supported by taxes mean?
So that's going to go out to the bond market, right? So we're going to bond that, or we're going to issue a short-term bank anticipatory note, also known as a BAN, right? That money will eventually hit. So it's 600,000. So if I extend that life up, so I bond that for 20 years, I'll only be paying 30,000 a year in principal plus 6,000 in interest at the current market. So it'll be 36,000 a year will go against the debt service line item in the operational budget, right? But you won't see that until 2024 at this particular time. So none of this is being spent by the out of the general fund.
So I'm a little confused on this. Let me just go over that. It's a 2.5 million, 2581 ask, 2.581 ask. Where's the other 1.9 coming from?
It's incremental. We're going to chip away at that. The 2.5 covers all schools, right? We're going to try to chip away one at a time so we can address the issue. So this is going to address an issue at either Martinson or I can't recall all the names. I know Mr. The Daniel Webster, yes, Daniel Webster. So this is going to take care of one. It's going to tackle one school, one problem, and then we hope to do this again, dependent upon funding down the road. I'd like to do a little bit every year if we could.
Okay, yeah.
Does that mean it's $600,000 for this year?
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and then with the high schools, and keep in mind, Michael just reminded us that the high school, the middle school, and South River School are already completed, are all upgraded already. So we're down to 4. So
What did those cost us?
the cost on those, I have to get back to you. I don't want to give you a false number.
Okay.
We'll talk to our facilities director and have him pull that information.
I'm just trying to see. I always get confused when you put a number in there that's 600,000 and then we spend it. And to me, I've been in business a few years, but I always get at least three prices from people, not just $600,000 and then it's gone.
It has to go through it goes through the competitive bid process on this one. So we'll definitely have that in
Okay.
prevailing wage. They have to pay the prevailing wage too. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so above that on an ask is emergency life-saving lighting for all the schools at 182, and it's not being recommended by the selectmen.
Yeah,
Is
so
that
the
correct?
school, so the superintendent and Ms. Maresco and their respective committees are all okay with this number. They think it's a great start, and this is what they want to tackle first, and this was agreed to, to bring forward to you guys by both parties unanimously. For your consideration.
So the emergency life safety lighting right now is adequate?
Yes, according to that's where we are in the process now.
Okay.
According to Mr. Granatino and Mr. Miller.
Okay, I just don't want to overlook anything that's an emergency, especially when it comes to schools. And it's not being recommended. I just want to understand that it is not needed at this point. Okay, I mean, the rest of, I think, the big one, I know what the big one is because I had a meeting with you guys.
We tried our best to kind of get to meet with folks to sort of see what their number one and number two priorities are, and we bring them forward to you guys. They really wanted to, this is the items they wanted to start with, is this.
Okay. So when we go through all of these and we see something that, or is told to us by some department that it's much needed and it's not on the recommended selectmen voted on list, what kind of finance problems does that start? So in other words, if we were to say that we really needed to, replace truck S4, I'm just putting that as an example.
As of right now, the cap, the number that we have to spend on general fund items, right, is $350,000 remaining in the for capital budget to consider on, and that's the number we would pass to you folks to deliberate on and to work with. 350,000.
Okay, because so in other words, the 2.455, which includes the enterprise funds, that's all taken. Above that is $345,000.
No, 350. So again, you have 2.1 million borrowed, supported by the tax levy, right? The enterprise funds are a separate fund, right? So
I know,
we will, so we'll approve up to 2.5 million in borrowing supported by the taxes. That's what we'll.
Right, and the remainder, right, so
you get $350,000. So the capital budget committee this year has $350,000 to disperse collectively amongst their group and recommend, and they are allowed to take any of those 5 years worth of requests, right? The capital budget chart, which you all have, you can advance any of those into this article prior to the printing of the warrants.
Okay, so we have, again, I'm going to reiterate, $345,000
No.
now.
It's 350,000. It's 2150 plus 350. That's what we have to spend. And then if you guys would like to speak to the schools, I mean, obviously that's your committee's, that's up to you guys, however you want to delve it up. But the capital budget committee has $350,000, right, remaining to be expended in any fashion they seem fit over the 5 years worth of requests that the departments have submitted to everyone this evening.
Okay, all right, so in the past, 350,000 could equal over $1 million because it's, if you're bonding it and it's only going to cost you X amount of money per year. Are we looking at that, or are we looking at a flat 345 period, or 350, whatever the number is?
Yes, it's a flat $350,000 in cost. So however you want to spend $350,000, well, based upon the numerical value given to you from the departments on that 5-year capital outlay, right? The capital improvement plan, the CIP, right? Anything you would like to be advanced, right? We can certainly advance into the article and just make an adjusting entry to it. That's not going to be a problem whatsoever. We just need to know what that is, of course, and we're here to help in any way we can.
Okay. All right. Well, any other members want to chime in here now?
I'm all set.
I'm all set.
I'm good, covered.
Okay. All right. Let me just look at my list one more time. Sorry. Oops. People texting me. All right. So we basically discussed the capital budget fund. We haven't gone over the request that'll be coming down next. The goals for the enterprise funds. One of the things that I see this time coming around is there is not as much request coming through. Besides the $245,000 again on the water. Our goal was set a few years back to be a 10% debt ratio. I have no idea where we are now, but I do know that we were in the 30% at one point. Patrick, do we know where we are now on the water enterprise fund debt ratio?
Yeah, so in your budget book that you have, we have the message from the town administrator, sort of illustrating a little bit of where we are with all the funds. And in the budget book itself, right, you'll be able to see the debt service cost for all your enterprise funds. That's in the operational budget book that you all received, right? So I leave that for you all to make your own decisions. I would encourage you to review that first and then have a discussion with us. The enterprise funds have performed well collectively. For all intents and purposes, there's a surplus, right? So a surplus through a trying pandemic that we're fighting isn't a bad thing to have. And again, we don't express an opinion right now on their debt to budget ratio. That really wasn't on the agenda tonight. So I wasn't really prepared to even have that discussion, Mr. Griffin.
Well, so what's on the agenda is discuss goals for enterprise funds, which is
Okay.
what we can't figure out our goal if we don't
Sure.
know, if we're gonna have to sit down and review all the numbers, which we have the books, everybody got the books the last few days. I mean, I got them on Friday, I think it was.
Yeah.
We might have to have a regular meeting. I mean,
Oh,
Are we
Sure.
at the point where we can sit down in person yet
exactly. It's
No.
hard to do.
in this
No,
world of
at this
ours?
point, we're not. That's coming from Michael.
It's very difficult to look at numbers when we're on this
There's no,
Zoom.
in-person meetings right now. None of the boards have in-person meetings. Because of COVID, we have no choice but to do Zoom meetings. They're done all over the Commonwealth. The state does it. Every city and town does it.
I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with it. We were just asking the question. It's very
Yeah.
difficult to do this meeting with, notebooks that are 4 inches thick, that we need to go through. But I'll prepare something for our next meeting so that we'll be able to look at it a little bit better. Well, I guess we're on to review capital budget requests, and I don't know if we want. I think what we want to do is go to the ones that the selectmen are voted on and recommended, and then at a next meeting we can review all others that are within the 350. It makes it a lot easier. So the biggest item on here,
The 400 enterprise.
the biggest
All right,
one
so-
on here.
What's
Go
that?
ahead.
I apologize. So so the selectmen voted. I'll just run down the list here for you. What they voted to support, right? And again, the selectmen take no opinion on the use of the retained earnings for DPW related capital projects. We defer those decisions to Superintendent of Public Works and the Board of Public Works Commissioners, and we record them on these charts because it is one town, it's one vote. It makes things very streamlined and seamless for the people participating in town meeting. So, excuse me. So we're recommending $1,150,000 borrowing supported by taxes for the purchase of Munis, which is a total townwide software system. That's in the capital budget, right? Schools, all 21 of Michael's department heads have signed off on that, physically signed a document saying that they support it. This is a partial payment on that. The other funding source from this comes from the special town meeting, which we can sort of get in there. That's not on the agenda either. So I think that we'd have to wait to sort of discuss that. 600,000 borrowing supported by taxes for the schools, which we just discussed. $100,000 for the cemetery expansions, the new item. And the $300,000 road construction is being asked to be reduced to $200,000. But this request was made in a meeting that we had with, Michael, myself, Christine McCarthy, Dan Bowen, and Tom Reynolds, the superintendents. And they decided that they wanted to advance the cemetery expansion piece of this project, now rather than wait till next year, next fall. So that was perfectly accommodating because it didn't change the total bottom line number that we all had agreed to. $200,000 is being, like I said, for road reconstruction, and $100,000 is to replace a 1987 Bombardier. And we're going to be purchasing a new Bombardier. So that's what the requests are as far as general fund goes. That equates to $2,150,000. That's what it equates to, leaving the balance $350,000 for the capital budget committee to spend on any item presented to the capital budget before November 15th
Right.
for 5 years. So that's what we're charging capital budget with effectively.
Okay, so basically, this is new, to our committee. Generally speaking, again, I'm gonna go back, and Bill, you can back me up on this. We recommend to both town meeting and the selectmen the items that we feel,
And you're welcome to do that, sir.
after we do our due diligence.
Sure. You're
So
certainly
why
welcome to
would
do
they,
that.
why all of a sudden are they voting, and we never had that happen before? In other words, it's a lot easier for us to recommend looking at it as a blank than it is to be being voted on before we even recommend it.
It's guided.
It just doesn't make sense to me.
Oh, but because we're in the thicket, we're in the day-to-day operation. We're seeing this stuff here. These are just guidance and recommendations that are being voted by the selectmen to your guys' committee. Your guys' committee can vote against these items if you so choose.
I know, but why are they voting ahead of time? That's what I'm asking.
Well, because-
Without our recommendation, what are we here for?
So again, we've centralized the entire budgetary process now, because we have the debt in this town was out of control 4.5 years ago. I'll just be honest with you, right? And so that had us at over $14 million sitting out of short-term notes. So in order to stop that, the selectmen and Michael charged me with sort of getting a handle on that. Best way to get a handle on that is to have the selectmen vote a cap on the total amount of money to be expended, which is 2.5 million, right? This year, right, to be borrowed. Okay. The items presented before you comes from meetings that the town administrator and myself run for the budget process. And the budget hearing, we meet not only on budgetary items but on capital budget items.
I understand where you're coming from as far as, voting for an amount of money of 2.5 million or 2.1 without the enterprise funds.
Yeah.
I can understand that.
Sure.
But then to go selectively choose and vote on, that's not right, because we're a committee that's supposed to be recommended to them, and we didn't do any due diligence on this.
But Mr. Griffin, no one's asked you to take that vote tonight. These are our recommendations to you. That's what we have before you. This is what the Board of Selectmen for the town of Marshfield, right? Munis is the big project this year that they're recommending advances, right? So what you guys, of course, have to do your due diligence, of course. No one say you don't have. These are the items that we'd like to see advanced. Whatever you guys decide to do is what you guys decide to do.
So my last statement on this is that in the future, we will be given projects that have already been approved by the selectmen, and yet we can say no or make a decision later on it. But they are going to make a choice without our recommendation.
No. The only project.
That's what's happening.
This year, right? We need to advance the Munis software program, right? That's something we need to do. The software we have at Town Hall is over 20 years old. The total cost to purchase this today is less than $7 per employee. Okay.
Right.
So this is the time to do it is now. We're in the financial position to do it. We've timed this out. We spent countless hours with this company, getting it to the point where this is going to be a very straightforward process. And it's the timeline is something that I personally put together with the company, and I'm very confident of its success. And we're asking you guys to support this. Now, if you guys choose not to support that, that's fine. But again, the Capital Budget Committee, we're notifying you by doing this ahead of time. We're notifying you of the projects that we'd like to see advance, right? That's what we're doing. That's all it is. That's all it is. You vote to support or you can vote to support or not to support. Either way, right? Either way, we're putting it in.
Right.
If you don't, you guys can do whatever you decide to do. You notify town meeting. Your town meeting's voice to the capital outlay. That's how it is.
I understand what you're saying, Patrick, but you're changing things and midstream and what is which, and I don't want to keep going on with this.
Okay.
Is the capital budget meeting recommends to the selectmen, then the selectmen vote and say, yes, we want to do it. That's the way it's always been.
Okay, sure, and I respect your position on that, Mr. Chairman. I certainly do, and again, it's
So,
I work for the selectmen. I've been charged with the task of putting this stuff of putting these books together and thing, and I will always execute.
All right. So what we are on now, we're on the item that you were just talking about, and I went to the meeting and basically from what I heard, I would personally probably recommend the whole thing. The one doubt that I do have in it all, and which all my committee members have to understand the whole project, is when you make a decision on, like when I'm just going back to the past, when there was a project this size, we would be brought in on the projects itself. In other words, we would sit there and have them make a demonstration, and they would say to us, "This is how it all works."
Sure.
Right now we're just voting money.
So we can have you, if you'd like to come. I'm happy to submit to you guys as long as you guys don't have a quorum, right? You guys, we can figure out who got. Sure. Yeah, I can have. I'll have the representatives and do a presentation for you guys. That's fine.
Exactly. Exactly.
Again, we have now until April to have this done, right? This is in no way, shape, or form trying to marginalize any efforts that you guys have, right? This is just a simple recommendation of what the town needs from the people that are responsible for the financials of the town. End of story. That's our job. And we're fiduciaries. We have to do it.
Right. And I'm gonna just say just this final piece on it is that for us to vote on a $1.1 million ask, we definitely would want to see what it is.
Of course, we will have
So
it.
that's why I'm bringing out the point.
You let me know what night you would like to have them here, or multiple nights if you want to see the whole package. What I will do, I will send your committee all of the brochures and pamphlets that we have and all the demos.
That would be great.
Product, so you guys can actually see what we're buying. That's perfectly fine. That
would be great.
I'm happy to do it. I'd love to do that, and the Munis folks would love to do it too. Remember, they work for us, so.
I understand. Yeah. Does anybody else in my committee? Anybody else in my committee want to add something, Bonnie?
No, I'm happy. I think my learning curve is starting to no, but I'd appreciate, I like the sounds of it, the way we'd be able to see a little bit more information than just a line sheet to vote on, and where the, recommendations came from. What other recommendations are there for the town that might be better?
Is there an alternative?
Yes.
There's alternatives. However, none of the alternatives achieve the goals. At this, we went through. Again, the difficult part is, right, you have to remember, right, is that we're entrusted with getting things up to where this point is, right.
Mhm.
So we have vetted now for 2.5 years, right? Companies coming in and out, right? And we've been going back and forth with these guys every day, very similar to what most of you all do when you're with young folks' jobs and everything, right? Our job is to get it to the point where it's here now and it's in front of you guys for a recommendation. That's what this is, right? And we're happy we can have the company come in and give you all the information, but we're certainly not going to recommend, or at least we won't be recommending changing from where Munis is right now. We're not. Munis is the horse that we're riding.
Okay.
Anybody else have anything to add?
No, I agree with Patrick.
Okay. All right, so the next item is, which we discussed already, is the fire alarm system life safety upgrade, which is going to be done in steps. A few of the schools already have it done.
Yes, I think on this, I think from our, I think it's probably best that we invite, you guys should invite Jeff Granatino and Tom Miller to the meeting to present this to you guys and sort of show you
Okay,
some stuff from the study so you guys can see what this is. And then you know, I think, well, I know the fire chief's with us tonight, but the fire chief can probably offer you guys a lot of information about the fire suppression system itself. If that makes sense to you guys to have them there, I think it'd probably be better so you can actually see what it is. I know Michael or I can have our facilities director there as well, who knows quite a bit about the suppression systems and the different types for to go to Miss McCarthy's point.
yes, I think you're right on that one. I like that recommendation.
Mm-hmm.
We will ask the superintendent at our next meeting.
Yeah, we'll get pictures of what we have now and why we think it's important to replace it.
Correct.
So maybe, you know,
Correct.
and if the COVID things ever goes away, we can actually do a tour of the school.
Can
Which
only
is-
pray.
You know, yeah. Right now, no one can do anything. It's just a difficult situation.
Okay, and then we're down to the road construction, which was changed from 3 to 2, and the cemetery was added for 100. And I think the cemetery was asked last year, Tom, if I'm correct, you really need that work done down there now. Am I right, Tom?
Yeah, correct, Jack. We're down a lot of spaces. And these columbariums will finish out phase 1 of the project. One of the concerns that the engineers have is ordering and being able to match the existing granite. So by getting it now, it's less of a chance that we won't be able to match it up.
Okay,
And then we can't complete the project until we set these columbariums because we need the crane to come in and set them. So that will take up a bunch. We can't finish the project until that's in place.
okay,
Am I right, Mr. Chairman?
yes, Dave.
Tom, I think we need to elaborate that this is in the existing, just modified expansion that we have. We're adding additional columbariums. Correct? Tom?
That's correct.
I just wanted to make sure that was clear, that this is not about expanding the footprint that we already have.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions? All right, I'm gonna roll down to the next one, which is replace 1987 Bombardier with a 2019 Bombardier. Yeah, I used to have a Bombardier jacket, but I don't know what a Bombardier is. What is a Bombardier?
A bombardier is a piece of equipment that's on tracks for plowing sidewalks.
Oh, okay. So we buying a used one?
No. If we were buying one, we'd be buying a brand new one. The one that we have is a 1986, I believe. And
Well, it says-
the motor blew up.
Oh, so that's to replace the motor?
No, this
The ass-
replaced is 100. I believe it's
$100,000.
$100,000.
Yeah,
When we bought a similar machine, it was 105. So we've had it priced out. Bombardier is a
So,
little bit smaller than that trackless machine we bought the last time.
so it's replaced 1987 121 with a 2019 Bombardier, it says. Why not a
Well,
2021?
it'd be a 2020. I think we had this in. It's probably a typo.
Okay, that's what got me. Okay, thank you.
Maybe they'll throw in a bombardier jacket for you again, Jack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
some
Yeah. I think that's the one
aviator
that,
sunglasses.
I think that's what Fonzie had, right? The Bombardier jacket, maybe. All right. One of the things that, I saw on here was a request and I'm just getting off subject for a second because I always do. Building and zoning is looking for an electric pickup truck. And one of the things that I've been reading lately, I got a brand new 2020 Hyundai Ioniq, which is a, what do you call it? Hybrid. And we're always buying these new trucks and cars. And I went from 28 gallon to 65 miles to the gallon. And my business, you need that kind of mileage. But wouldn't it be smart, especially since the governor, and I say this to all department requests, Governor Baker, 2035 wants all vehicles to be electric. Wouldn't it be smart now to start looking at hybrids or electric in the future for the DPW and all other department requests? You'd save a tremendous amount of money on gas.
I'd be more than happy to look at it. The bigger trucks, I don't think they've got those motors built to perfection yet to be, powered by, DC power. But the size of the batteries in order to run those pieces of equipment are very large. So it's.
Yeah, I'm just talking typical pickup truck and cars right now.
Sure. I mean, it makes sense for cars going forward and, we can definitely look at the pickup trucks if they're capable to plow with. That's a concern.
Mhm.
Do they have enough power to plow?
Right. Well, the Ford F-150 is coming out with a hybrid. No, a hybrid. A hybrid. They always have that. It's coming out with an electric 2022. And there are some tractor trailers that'll be coming on the road. They're going to be all electric too. So if they're hauling, 60,000 pounds, I'm sure that's something just to think about in the future so that we can cut down our, our print and get ready to adhere to the new rules and regs that are going to happen in the future. It was just a thought. That's why I just wanted to throw that out.
We'll definitely look into it. As long as, the prices aren't through the roof for the bigger pieces of equipment, it makes sense.
Okay. We're down to radio and replacement for SCADA system. What is that?
The SCADA system is how we're notified of, we talk with our pump stations. It's an older system and we need to change it out. It's called a supervisory control and data acquisition. And it's central to it are the radios in order to communicate, excuse me, back and forth with the PLC. That in turn notifies our operators if there's an issue in one of the pump stations and they can respond to it, whether on a computer or if they can't clear it on the computer, then they can then they have to go out and manually do it. So we have it in both wastewater and water. It's very important to the operation.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
Nope.
No. All right, we're down to Mr. Lass's favorite subject all the time, getting down there. Meter replacement for $100,000. I guess you have to bring us up to date where we are on our replacements, Tom.
The meter replacement we've converted approximately 95% of the water meters to radio read. And the meter reader program has been effective. And this is just our annual $100,000 that we put in every year to just keep up with replacing old meters, things that are broken. So it's on top of our capital project of changing out all our commercial meters.
I guess we
So,
were,
so
Billy.
anyhow, I think the last meeting that we had last year, we discussed these water mains again. And was noted in the thing that we wanted to see how many water meters we actually had in storage, how many we bought, and how much they cost and where they went. So I don't recall ever seeing that. So I don't know if you have any calculations on those that you can push a button with and find out or not.
I can get them for you, but I know when we first approached the capital committee, when we requested 500, you gave us 250. I had given you a detailed report on the costs, how many we needed and all of that. I don't know if you still have that, but
No.
I can pull up some information for
If you
you.
can, without too much trouble, if you can do it, it's not a problem.
Sure.
So on the next item is what Billy just was going, water main upgrades, $100,000.
That's also an annual request that we do to change water mains in-house. There's still 2-inch mains out there, and there's AC mains and some old some old cast iron. So we're always looking when we come across this to be able to replace with ductile iron, which is a more economical use. So I would, that's an annual.
Okay, I'll jump up one more. On the meter replacement, Tom, the $100,000, if my memory serves me correctly, we have not spent $100,000 in probably all the years we were asking, any year. And that money gets reverted back to the general fund.
No.
Oh, no, that goes back into the water enterprise fund, sorry.
Right.
So I'm just curious to know what last year's money was that we spent outside of the project that we're doing. Did we spend $100,000 last year?
I don't think we got the 100,000 last year because.
Okay, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I gotta double check the budget, but I think that we didn't, because we were in the midst of that change out, we didn't know. I'll have to go back and check.
Okay. And another annual request is the well cleaning and rehabilitation.
Right, we do that annually. We pick a well. We have close to 15 well sites now, so the older wells need to have the screens pulled and cleaned. So we pick a well that, I'm not sure which one it is this year. It could be one of the Furnace Brook wells.
Okay. I think we covered all the
Mr. Chairman.
Madam Chair.
okay. Hello?
Jack,
Hello?
Jack, keep going. Go ahead.
I think that we are going over all the requests that the selectmen would like to see voted on. I don't think I missed one. And I think that we will set a meeting to go over all the other items that are on here for request with the committee to review. I will get in contact with Town Treasurer Patrick and work out the Munis software site presentation. And
Sure,
I
Knight.
And I will also ask Superintendent Jeff Granito to explain the fire alarm safety upgrades for the elementary school request. I think other than that, we just need to go through everything and, we do
And there's
have,
also, Mr. Chairman, if I may, also there's going to be, in the special town meeting article, there's going to be a number of things that come before the committee to review, and deliberate on. There will be articles, as well as, some transfers and closeouts that, are very important to, be considered by the capital budget committee, as we've always done. And that information at a time of your convenience, we're happy to discuss, or if you'd like to just have a committee meeting on it, we can certainly do that as well.
I think, having the committee meeting on it, just, send me, the information and then I'll put it in the agenda, as a topic.
And then any information you'd like from us, ahead of time on that. If you guys want pictures, if you want information, if you want to go, some of these things you can actually go to see on site. I think
Mhm.
that would be a great thing to do for everybody.
Right.
And I can help facilitate. I can reach out to anybody you guys need to, or if you guys want to handle it, that's fine too. But we're here to help.
Great. Thank you.
Hey, Jack,
One
can I
thing-
ask a quick question?
Sure.
There was an oversight and a submittal for a capital item that normally we've had, and that was the 65,000 that for private roads and repair of private roads and the grading of dirt roads. That's something that we usually get and we ask for, and for some reason it wasn't asked, put in. And in order for us to work on those roads, we need to have an appropriation from town meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Is there a procedure that you have to have it put on the sheet?
I'd have to check with,
So the correct procedure would be with the superintendent Reynolds is referring to, would be, so the capital budget committee has $350,000 additional dollars, right? That they have to spend. So if the capital budget committee so chooses, right, they could move as a group to recommend that $200,000 road money to $265,000 road money, in which Mr. Reynolds would achieve his objective to get that article funded. That he's mentioning that is going to be, coming before you guys anyway. So effectively, he would withdraw articles. He would withdraw the DPW article, and the road money would go to 265. Very simple. That's that correct, Tom? Sound about right?
yes, that would work.
On the road.
Okay, the one thing I did forget, which is kind of stupid by me, is we didn't vote for secretary, and we need to do that. I know, Dean, that I don't know how you feel about it, but I know you're behind. I'm hoping that.
Bonnie, if I recommend Bonnie.
Of course you do.
Yeah,
I'll second it. I'll
no
second it.
doubt.
A school teacher. He's used to doing that
Well-
stuff.
Bonnie, I can show you what you need to do. Dean can too.
If-
I would say all in favor of voting, all in favor for voting for Bonnie, say,
With the
raise your hand.
caveat that I get a tutorial.
Yes.
Aye.
Yes,
Aye.
yes, by, you gotta guess it's better be voice. Yes, by Jack.
Okay.
Yes,
Bill,
by Billy. Yes, by Billy.
Dean,
Yeah.
Dean. All right, so Bonnie, welcome you now, the
Oh, thank you.
secretary.
All right.
And Dean will tell you where we need to be. He's got like 3 or 4 that he owes us at least.
Okay.
So, and we need to get it done so that it gets posted up on the town website. All right, well,
May I
with that,
ask Tom real quick a question? And it was more to clarify. It sounded like good news. When you had said the meter replacement, I was just looking at it. You said you had already converted 95% of them. Does that mean up to the standard where everyone needs to be with the newer meters? So they're all the
The
same?
95% is with the radio reads that we've changed most of them out. So that's enables us to do the remote reading.
So that's great.
As we change
95%.
out the new meters, we have, this radio that if we need to upgrade, some of them only have a 15-year life with the battery. So, it's very, we're about the 95 percentile right now.
Great.
If I might, Tom, the radio, but some of those radio reads are on existing meters, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so it wasn't a case of changing out the meters at the same time that the radio reads were installed?
No, but if we came across, the ones.
If it's a bad meter, I know you do, but if the meters, it seems to be recording, as I recall it, we would just put on the radio read and proceed.
Right, correct.
Okay. Anybody else have any other questions?
Nope.
Looking for somebody to adjourn the meeting. Make a
Make a
recommendation.
motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Jack, yes.
Bonnie?
Billy, yes.
Dean
Yes.
and Billy?
Yes.
All right, with that, we are done with the meeting and I will put all the paperwork together and get it out to you guys.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank
All
you,
right,
guys.
thanks. Yep,
Everybody.
bye-bye. Bye.